All right, good morning. This is a Site Plan Review Committee meeting for April 9th, 2019. Committee members present today are Mark Locke, Plumbing Inspector, Joe Maglione, Assistant Director of Water and Sewer Division of DPW, and Paula Gengio, Director of DPW. Paul Chiva was here from Deputy Chief Fire Department, and Nick Rystrom, City Engineer, myself, Frank Stringy, City Planner, and also Dana Brangiforti, the City Assessor. Also will be joining us will be Ben DeCristoforo, the Building Inspector. The first item on the agenda is 10 Franklin Ave. Anybody, 10 Franklin Ave, you want to come up? Yeah, come on up, have a seat.
Good morning, folks.
Hi, good morning. Just describe your project. Present your plans that you have with you.
I can set this up on the table.
You can just throw it on the table, basically, so we can all take a look at it. Make room for you. Put that mic right on top of it. There you go.
I'll start. My name is Christopher Mulhern. I'm Harrison Mulhern Architects, Winchester, Mass. We're the architects of record for the project. Sitting to my right is Matt Maggiore, Maggiore Development and Construction, Woburn, Mass. They are the general contractor for the project. And John Ogren, Hayes Engineering, is the civil engineer for the project. This project is about the replacement of 36-unit condominium building that was burned at number 10 Franklin Avenue. The proposal is to basically replicate the footprint of the previous building. It's 5 stories. It'll be fireproof construction, so it's a podium concept for the first floor, and then 4 stories of wood construction on top of that. It'll be a fully sprinkled building. And I think I'll turn it over to John to talk about the site plan and how the site's working on this thing.
Yeah, what we're looking at here is existing condition. This was, obviously we went out there after the fire, so I'm not just basically showing the footprint of what was left as far as the slab. We did our best to try to locate what was out there as far as parking, utilities, and if I can switch one.
This is 10 Franklin Ave.
So probably the first challenge was the parking that's existing out there doesn't conform to the current parking standards. So we tried to retrofit as best we could parking for 36 units, and we ended up getting 36 spaces, so that would give us 1 space per unit. On the existing condition, this was kind of a dead end, so you had to basically back out. That there wasn't really any cure for that. Over here, the parking this actually went over into the layout, so we had to squeeze this down. These spaces are pretty much similar to what was out there before, and then we added the parking over here. Basically, again, it was a dead end, so basically they had to back out of it. So in this case, we looked at trying to make this a one-way and creating a exit, and we need a curb cut out on Highland Street, try to help with the flow of it a little bit. As I said, most of these spaces don't conform to the current zoning. Just again,
What do you mean in terms of the
just
the size of the spaces?
Yeah, the size of the spaces.
9 by 18 requirement.
This aisle width, we made this aisle width 12, but these spaces ended up smaller than a diagonal space would generally be. And again,
Can you give us an idea how many parking spaces existed previously?
it's a little hard to tell, like I said, because of there was this area was material was removed, but I believe there was 3 from photographs.
Is it safe to say there was less than 36?
No, there was actually 40 spaces on site, and I wasn't able to replicate that same number of spaces.
Some of those spaces were into the right of way, were they not?
Yeah, if you look here, these actually creaked over. There's a fence here, but it was actually in the layout. And then over here, these spaces here probably went into the layout 3 or 4 feet. So obviously, we're trying to keep them on the site.
Is the footprint remaining the same?
Footprint of
The
the building?
footprint?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Other than your projection.
Yeah, so we have these small projections which
There's some projections here.
which hold the mechanical equipment and hold up the
Yeah.
balconies upstairs.
Yeah.
Other than that, the
Yeah.
building is the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
It's 130 by 60 feet, which is what was there before.
Are we using the same foundation system or?
We're using portions of the foundation. There's a large retaining wall here,
Yep,
which we're going to keep. There are 3 existing foundation walls in the footprint of the building, which we're also going to keep. But most of the new loads will be taken on new piers and footings inside the footprint of the building. The goal is to keep as much of the existing foundation as possible. We have to take the slab out because we have new footings and new underground piping that'll have to get done in the footprint of the building.
I apologize for coming late. So is there, what are we doing in the basement? Not going under parking or anything like that? You're just trying to maintain
So
parking around
there's
site?
6 spaces under, there were 6 spaces under the building. We're going to keep those.
Yeah.
So the footprint on the ground level will be L-shaped, like this. The 3 residential units there, 1 residential unit here, and a mechanical space in this back corner, and the 6 parking spaces here.
All right, so you're kind of going with what was already there.
That's
So
the
you say
idea.
ground level, even though those units are down the bank and below
Right.
the level. So you're looking at a front entrance, you're still gonna have a bridge coming
Still a
across
bridge.
from
That's
Exeter
correct.
Ave?
Handicap compliant, ADA compliant.
Yeah, so that, instead of being steps, that'll be an ADA level ramp into the 2nd floor of the building. And there's also, then there's an egress out here on the, comes out of the 3rd floor of the building and goes to the upper parking level. It's an open garage, it doesn't have doors on it, it's open.
Covered parking.
We hadn't planned on it, we could do that. Correct. Yeah, I guess I thought was. But that's a good question. We certainly can do that.
So would it fall under the plumbing code even if it's open? I know we know if it's a, okay. In which case we need a floor drain and boil water separator. Yeah.
So right now, that space pitches away from the building and off the site, this area here. So, if we had to interrupt that, we'd have to do some kind of a linear drain or trench drain in order to capture that. But it doesn't seem to me that it's much different than these spaces that are on grade immediately across the driveway.
Once you are technically in the building, we're doing one right now where it's all indoor parking, and but it's open air, and it's plumbing code. Right.
It's enclosed on 3 sides?
It's closed on 3 sides.
Right. So if it's enclosed, it's more than 50%, so 2 sides that are considered a garage.
Okay.
So then you will have to have a collection. Okay. Anything that's come out.
Right,
That was
in the
fireproof
plan.
construction, right?
So essentially, you're kind of putting back what was there.
That's the idea.
We're trying to restore the same unit count, same number of parking spaces that everyone had, so they can go back to living how they used to live.
In terms of 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom units, they're all staying the same.
Same bedroom count as before, so it's a mix of 1s and 2s.
You know what that mix is?
So, gotta get the other,
Yeah, you should have a summary there. Unit breakdown.
the oddball. So the typical floor is 4 2-bedrooms and 4 1-bedrooms. So 4 floors like that. That gets us 32 units. Then on the ground level, There's a 3-bedroom unit, a 2-bedroom unit, and 2 1-bedroom units. So it's just 1 3, 17 2s, 18 1s. That should be 36.
Okay. And that's exactly what existed before. So you're going to reproduce the same floor plans?
Well, it's close. So a few things are different on the floor plan. Sitting and make a mess of your microphone. The configuration of the elevator is altered because we're getting to an elevator that fits a stretcher for the first time. So that's a little different. That changed the 2 units that adjoin the elevator shaft in the center of the building. The other change is that each unit has this small projected closet, which has a heating and ventilating unit for the apartment in it, what's called a magic pack. So it's a boiler room is gone, the whole boiler system is gone. It's individual heating and cooling for each unit with gas service to each unit. And so those are the fundamental changes. Everything else is pretty much identical to what it was. The bedroom count.
Stair depth increases.
Yeah, the stairs got bigger because the tread and riser now meets the current code, the 711 stair.
In-unit laundry?
No, there's a shared building laundry in the lower level, on the ground level. It's in this corner down here. Couldn't fit in the unit laundries. The units are very tight. The units are pretty small. So fitting an in-unit laundry, in addition to water heater and the rest of it wasn't really going to start.
Typical square footage for your 1-bedroom units and 2-bedroom units? Do you have those numbers?
I don't have them with me, but I can certainly send them along to you.
Just curious.
Balconies?
Yes, each unit, save the ones that are buried in the hillside, has a balcony that connects the living room and 1 bedroom. So they're about 16 feet wide by 6 feet deep. So the lower level of the building is fireproof construction. It'll be a steel frame, fireproof steel frame with a concrete slab on it. Starting at the first level above grade, it'll be sticks. It'll be wood frame construction, protected with drywall on the interior. The balconies will be framed in wood, excepting the first level will be framed in concrete and steel. Yeah, so that'll be non-combustible stone. Yeah. There'll be dry heads, probably sidewalks to protect the balcony.
And the balconies are going to be the same size as prior? The existing?
Yeah, they're a skosh deeper. They're about 6 feet deep. The others were about 5.5.
But they don't project out any farther?
Where's the dumpster going to be located?
What we're planning on is a series of enclosed rolling dumpsters located in this room right here, this trash room right here. So this would
Is there a
be,
unit next to that? Because I believe we got a concern of whoever's unit is near there, that the trash is now going to be inside.
well, that's a legitimate concern. The construction of this would be concrete block with a epoxy coated concrete floor and a hard ceiling. So it's really effectively, in my opinion, at least a separate space. It would be ventilated to the exterior of the building, but it does adjoin a unit. That's true.
And we were trying to connect with Tony from the health department.
Right, I'm representing Tony.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is
okay.
Michael Wells from that health department.
And the concern obviously is if we have to do an enclosure, you're talking about taking away 3 spaces, which
Yeah.
unfortunately, in trying to keep
Was it
everything on
outside
site.
before?
It was up here, up at the top, and there were issues apparently with folks from the neighborhood dumping trash in the dumpster, being a nuisance to the house next door. And so we were trying to mitigate those problems by moving it into this enclosure inside the building. We feel like we can make a space there that's pretty bulletproof as far as rodents or any other issues with the unit next door. That will be fully sprinkled. The water service is coming in here. The sprinkler room will be adjacent to the service entrance. The backflows will be there, and we'll distribute to standpipes that heads throughout the building.
Yeah, we're proposing a 6-inch, that's connecting to an existing 6-inch cast iron main. And one thing I did want to run by is in terms of, we were looking to separate the fire and the domestic inside the building. I was wondering if that's something that's acceptable. Separate from the main.
So you can't tee off before it hits the building?
No, it has to be two separate.
We're here.
And the sanitary is going out in the same basic focus, right?
Yeah, we're gonna, I have it listed here as just inspect the existing, sewer service. And really, I wasn't able to get a size on it. And we don't know what kind of condition it's in. Otherwise, we would replace it if it wasn't adequate.
I'll defer to the,
So move from the building to the main in the street?
I'll defer to fire engineering, whether hydrant flow tests be performed up there to determine the size of the domestic and fire flow lines.
We would do that anyway.
Where does the sewer come off? Which one?
It's in Highball Street.
Where is it, which one?
Each one, yeah.
Oh, the water, yeah.
As far as other utilities, gas, we're proposing to connect into existing, having the gas meters on this end of the building, electric, depending on what the electric company decides, we would go with a riser here and run the primary out to a transformer located here and then secondary into the building. Drainage, we weren't proposing to do too much in terms of that. There is one existing catch basin on the site.
Were you looking at the gas meters?
The gas meters go along the building here.
That's two parking spaces that are next to the gas meters, is that what I'm looking at, or no?
2 spaces, yes.
This would all be buffer. This would be a
separated
landscape buffer with bollards and protection.
There's a building egress there too, so we're gonna build a passageway along there too. We didn't have a lot of options about where to put the gas meters, because there's not a lot of wall area.
Yeah, there's about 5 feet between the space and the building.
Okay.
So drainage is an existing catch basin that seems to be full of water most of the time, and
You're gonna have to provide a stormwater management plan.
what's that?
You have to provide a stormwater management plan for the drainage, to be able to mitigate the runoff offsite.
Mitigation in terms of what was existing there.
In terms of what exists now, so whatever is gonna be in existence with your development, you have to handle the way the water is flowing and control how it is the system. Here, probably need some, and shutting it down.
You show a proposed catch basin here, and you have an existing one here. So you have two basins on this side, getting runoff coming down the driveway here, and
Well, this was more, this drops off pretty good from Franklin down here, so we were trying to get any water that was coming down off that hill into this catch basin, then we were piping into here, and then we we're going to connect the root drain into that same drain manhole into the existing drainage that's out on Fitchburn.
is there a basin here proposed?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
I don't know why that didn't plot out.
So you'll have to provide, again, stormwater management analysis, our design storm is a 25-year storm. You have to meet those events, and then provide your drainage design based on that.
So overall, the impervious cover on the site is not much different than what it was before.
No, it was before, it's a new building. Yeah.
So you still have to provide,
So for a 25-year storm, mitigation on site for the storm.
Yeah, for instance, we can't allow this sheet flow to come into the public way off this parking lot here, so you're gonna gonna have to baffle that, you have to pick that up into either a trench drain or a catch basin. The low point here, tying into our system on Highland Ave.
What's the width of that parking lot, too? So there's limited access there.
12 feet.
Yeah, the aisle width is 12.
And these spaces are 9 by 18? Parking spaces or smaller?
No, they're smaller than that.
We're looking for egress, given gas meters at that egress, we got a bridge over here. We need to have clearance at this egress to get out.
So this is not a space.
I understand, but it's not further, it needs to be further defined based on your dimensions right now.
Hatched area,
Sorry?
saying a hatched area, noting a hatched area? No problem.
Yeah, we can do that.
Further defined.
This is a stair.
There's gonna be stairs off of
There's a
that.
stair that comes down, and then we'll define a hatch area here. Get out into the aisle.
Just change my perception of, so what's right in front of the stairs then, nothing?
Nothing.
So that open area is, so instead of the front of the stairs in the egress, it's all.
Sure. Yes. Like that.
Where's the closest fire hydrant here?
there's one over here, and there's one over here.
Do you have an idea when this building was built, original building?
Yes, it was built around 1980, 78 or 80.
We have to find out and see if there are existing variances or special permits on the file for this building, because it is non-conforming.
I understand that.
So, if they don't exist, you're gonna have to go for a special permit, and a variance for the parking. I'll research that and get back to you.
So not a continuation of non-conforming?
If it wasn't legal non-conforming before, then we have issues.
We'll look at it from the legal perspective, and we'll let you know.
So you can show up parking under and that building go up. Rush coming back.
The trouble is that there's a lot of cost associated with, a full deck of parking under, and we being then another story higher, the building, which puts us into a different construction classification than what we're able to use here.
Yeah, parking lots.
Trying to save the wall, and we're trying to keep the building volume the same as it was before to the largest extent possible, because we know that we're an oddball in this neighborhood. It's a general residential neighborhood. It's a single family.
Whatever your height was, you can't exceed that.
And in full transparency, they're underinsured. We're trying to build this building for, what they're getting from the insurance company, which is a struggle as it is. So we're really, looking out best interest of these homeowners to try to get them back in without having to go get a loan on top of what they get from the insurance company. So it's a tough situation.
Was there any damage to the sidewalks? So we typically require a bond for the sidewalks, roadway, if you're going on site, doing work and damaging. These are brand new concrete sidewalks, I believe, both on Hitchborn and Franklin. If there's any damage to the sidewalk, you'll have to replace those sections of the sidewalk.
Yeah, we can't vouch for what they did when they're taking the building down. Who knows? Certainly look at that.
But the goal is to get the proper result here at the end of the day, which is good sidewalks all the way around. So if there were new sidewalks before and they're damaged, we're going to have to own it.
Typically, that's our standard. For all new construction, you replace sidewalks and all, full frontage. You'll do curb cuts anyway, and there'll be granite curb cuts at your curb cuts, and this exists here, right?
Yes.
So you have 3 that exist, and you're proposing a 4th. Speaking of the building, what are you looking at for materials, or materials?
The base of the building, the first story would be brick and precast, and then starting at the first floor above grade, it's lap siding and cementitious panel finish. So it's mostly lap siding finish.
Is there an elevation?
So high board?
Hardy, yeah, clabbered, hardy plank, whatever they, the clabbered finish, and then let's see which is which. This is Franklin Avenue side here. No, I got it. This is Franklin here. So there's the bridge element. You see the balconies. This is masonry base, and it's slab siding, clabbered siding here, clabbered siding around these doors, and then the panel finish is on where the heating and ventilating units are here, and these projected elements which hold up the balconies.
What are you looking to, the bridge, what are you looking to construct out of?
Galvanized steel beams, and then galvanized deck and concrete. Yeah, that'll be non-combustible. These railings are all metal, so they're non-combustible as well.
Yeah. We also were required to upgrade the landscaping on site as part of the site plan.
We have a landscape architect on the project, but we haven't engaged him to start yet, but
We need your final landscape.
we will do a final landscape.
On those.
Will you need that for this site plan review aspect, or just for prior?
Well, that'll be in the site plan review report, but you'll have to come back to us before pulling the building permit, so we can see all final plans. Site plan, including landscaping plan, and utility plan.
So here's the location of the gas meters are going to wind up here, unless we can find another home for them, which I don't understand how we would do.
So that's right on the page.
That's facing Hitchborn, yes. It's on the low end of the building. Sprinkler room is right here. There's the egress there. This is the sprinkler room here. So the service come in will be a line of backflow preventers, and then we'll go from there to standpipes. Correct.
Can I keep a hard copy of this site plan?
Yeah.
I have to start a file on this so I can maintain it with this preliminary plan. And then when you come back with the final plan, work from there. So I can use this as a basis to start the site plan review report. Same plan. So we confirm the trash room is sprinkled. Well, no, obviously the whole building is trash.
You said exterior ventilation, so it's not ventilation to the building, not to the exterior ventilation.
Correct. There'll be a louver over the door, and there'll be a fan that is temperature or thermostatically controlled that kicks over when the temperature goes up in the space.
No trash chute, everyone's gonna bring the
Sir,
trash down.
they have to bring it down, and the only access is from the exterior, so you have to bring the trash down, go out of the building, and then go back into the trash room. And that'll be key fob controlled, so
That should help with orders.
should help with odors. They reported, the ownership reported a rodent problem on the property prior. So we're hoping that by containing this in a meaningful way, we'll be able to mitigate that too. Any other issues that we should be thinking about or aware of at this point?
What's the water service that we did before?
You know, John, the size of the water service?
I don't think I got any information on that.
Yeah,
we're not confident of the condition of the existing line, so, likelihood we're planning to replace both of them, or build both of them. Did you find anything on that existing?
Yeah, this shows a 3/4 inch copper.
No, it sounds right, because I remember it was coming under the stairs, so that was an issue.
3/4 inch?
One shower at a time.
It was on the sideline, I don't know if it's 3/4.
I mean, that's just what was record, I don't, so we weren't planning on reusing it anyway.
You'll have to give us a certified stamp plot plan by registered deeds, so that
You got the
parking and building layout.
I think this
Is it?
I don't know. Let's see. This one's stamped there.
No, there's no stamp on it.
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
Is this stamp by registered land surveyor,
Certified copy.
certified that it's a original
The
stamp
existing
plan?
condition plan, is what you're talking about, or the
No,
whole
proposed,
package?
proposed
Yeah.
plan.
Yep.
So this has all been uploaded to e-permitting. There's other email addresses on that. A site plan review letter will be sent to that individual, which will indicate our recommendations and findings and what you have to do for your final site plan.
Okay.
So there'll be a list of conditions that you'll just go right through.
Okay.
A lot of them are very standard for all our site plans.
What do you think the timeline is for resolving whether or not we have to go back to get a special permit / variance?
Probably have it by the end of the week.
Yeah, we'll be trying to meet with the city solicitors today. We'll have try to get back to you either like today, tomorrow, by the end of the week.
And how long does that process typically take?
Well, we would, if it came to that, we issue a denial letter on your parking that you would have to seek relief from the ZBA on, and that would take 4 to 6 weeks.
This is where in the design, we don't take fire alarm panels and electrical rooms down in the basement. Any fire alarm panel will be in the lobby. They want to look at that?
No, not here?
No, you're gonna do a, little vestibule, then a lobby,
Yes.
outside unlocked door, inside locked door.
Yes.
If you're gonna keep that, you can take it from here, or I'll take it just beyond the lock door.
But you want the full panel there?
Full panel there.
That's fine.
So pound on that, land on that, in your layout, so, messing with outside enunciators that go bad after 6 months in the winter, and go right in, go with that.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be at that bridge level.
Yeah.
That vestibule will be a heated vestibule, and we'll put the whole panel right there.
And is it radio control master box or hardwired?
So we asked for, we asked for you all listed station monitoring, but we also asked that you also are connected to the fire department to a radio, like a sitcom box. That's what it is.
Sitcom's my tenant, so, you know.
Any other issues on the fire side?
BDA test,
VA testing, absolutely.
2 frequencies, fire, police.
2 for fire, 1 for police.
We'll do the test, obviously, to see if we
You all listed.
do the test to see if we pass first.
Right,
And then,
right, so radio coverage testing, you all listed at 25, 24. So, something that will not oscillate.
You know all about this?
oh, yeah.
I would say nothing pass.
I don't know much about
They, well, it's funny, the company that does the testing also sells you the equipment, and they all fail. So you can scratch your head a little bit.
Okay, if there's no other questions, we'll proceed from the letter that you get. We'll give you a call by the end of the week. Do you have a card?
Absolutely.
Contact information.
Did you file it electronically?
I did, I put all my information, your information, and John's.
The contractor, if you want to start within a contract, we will be required to do a 241 plan.
Yeah.
Construction safety.
Prior to building permit? Or submission with
You
building?
can give you foundation permit once you come out of the ground, and you have that in place and approved.
Standpipe riser during construction?
Covering 241, basically based on height, yeah, we're going to be kind of close.
On the board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks so
Thank you,
much for your
gentlemen.
time.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate
Thank you so
your
much.
time.
Take care.
One last thing, you may need what's called a Chapter 148 license from the city council and the fire department for parking underneath the building. Storage of,
What's it called? Chapter 1?
Chapter 148 license.
So assuming we
or
did,
somebody, I think it's over 160 gallons, that triggers or 60 gallons triggers us.
Yeah, so it's 60.
assuming we do have to go before ZBA, is there a recommendation on, that we can pass on to our clients on, who to talk to for legal representation? That they go to town?
There's a number of attorneys you can, we can't give out names. So
Just figured I'd ask.
Always worth a shot.
you should also contact the Ward 2 counselor, Ira Noselski.
Yeah. I can tell you on the Chapter 148 license, though, that's not going to hold up your building permit, it will hold up your occupancy.
Okay,
So you can file for that after the building permit,
understood.
if one's required.
Right.
Ward 2 is, Ira?
Ira.
Thanks very much.
Thanks again. Have a great day.
Okay, 125 Squire Road.
Hi, how are you? Good, how are you?
Good morning. Okay, your previous site plan review letter has expired, so that's why you're back before us. It's been more than 6 months.
Great.
So we need to know to update that letter, if there has been any changes. Same plan is in effect.
Basically, the same plan is in effect from the original approval. There was another letter in December that last time we met.
Yeah.
That had a series of items in there which had been upgraded to, say, fire, engineering, building department on, I believe it was March 25th. I emailed a full set of PDFs to you, to Mr. Strange. Fire department, I did not catch on the 25th. I believe I sent that set to you a week later. But I made that distribution as we had discussed last.
Is this, you mean you applied for a building permit?
Yes.
I did see one in the system, yeah.
Okay, but those drawings updated the site drawings to answer some of the questions that were in the last letter, the December letter.
And what were some of those concerns?
Specifically, a planning plan was added, and planning plan and a lighting plan for the exterior. Those were two of the drawing items that were requested. So there's not been a change to the building, but we did add some information as requested for planting and lighting.
Those indicated in these.
Yes, sir. I just brought the site portion, but we do have,
We're still at 100 rooms.
yes, sir. I think you wanted to look at planting first. We have to get down beyond the engineering stuff. I believe 102 was... So this is a planting plan. The specific species are listed here, and they're, I think you were looking for pear trees down.
Yeah, on the close.
Yes. Right, down here. Shade trees over here. We did use we did show ornamental grasses in between here. And there are some screening firs, shrubs, and so.
Yeah, we want to plant screen on.
Right, in addition to the fence. Let's see, I think in these areas, by the curb cuts, there was low use that was also one of the plans asked for. So I based the planning selection on the suggestions that came in last SPR letter.
Okay, very good.
You said you submitted, by way of email, a set of plans in March?
Yes, end of March.
Those came from you?
Yes, sir.
Directly to site plan or directly to the engineering department, or was it on the e-permit?
No, it was not e-permit. We had talked about some issues I had with e-permitting in terms of getting a whole set of plans. So you asked me to send you a set.
Yeah.
You asked me to send that to engineering, which I did, and fire. I remembered after the fact, and I sent one to you as the planner. So
Will you send that to me? I don't have it.
I would be happy to.
Can I see a copy of those conditions you just said, site plan review?
It's
The latest one, right?
So the set you send should be the latest set, so you have a revision date of 3/24 in here.
That's correct.
So whatever set you send, I would send a full current set
Okay, so I sent that to you
on
on the 25th.
the 25th.
I'm sorry, you were April, beginning of April.
Oh.
Everybody else was the 25th, and I forgot to send it to you. So you will see that cover sheet on there. There may be other dates on the individual drawings, but the cover sheet shows clearly that it's the 24th or 25th. You good?
Can I take a copy of this?
Sure.
You have a copy, right?
I do have a copy that I can print when I get home.
Okay, the last time we talked was about water and sewer.
Yes.
Now, the sewer line, coming off of Squire Road, we're gonna try to evaluate that service, we're gonna have to dig up the street and replace it to see if it satisfies and the site. So you can take it right to this job on the property. Was any evaluation done of that?
We have not had it done. We are going to have it done now that the weather permits. So they're going to check it for obstructions and check it for size and check it for camera-wise for integrity.
Yeah, we prefer not to have to dig up Squire Road, Route 60.
Well, the sewer, the MEP guys connected the sewer
You've
to,
done that.
they did come down the back to Lakota Street, I believe. Let's see.
All right, so
Where's the
we're
last
Squire
existing
Road.
man?
It's right here. Yeah, I believe that's it, right there. So they went into here.
Oh, all right, so
All
we're
right,
good.
so, but I recognize that we still need to check out the other side, just to,
So, as far as the sewer goes, keep in mind, you guys cut and cap the sewer at the property line on Squire.
yes,
If you're gonna run it to Macomb, that in the front needs to be taken out to the main.
to the main.
Well, that's what we didn't want, we didn't want to have to rip up Squire Road.
So,
Now you have a pipe that's
so if we do
typical
that test to make sure it's structurally sound and has the capacity, then we won't have to interrupt Squire Road, which was the intent, right?
you mean the line between the main line and the
Somewhere out here, we capped up the existing line that goes out here.
How big is it?
I don't, that's part of what we're looking at.
Maybe. Nothing more.
Well, if it fits the bill,
Right.
fits
And even so, even if it's in, shape that it's usable, it's a, an old clay line, and we're gonna look to, ask you guys to have it lined. We have.
To line, okay. Okay,
Well, you're not tying into it on Squire Road.
No, they capped it at the property.
well, our intent was to not have to open up Squire Road, but if we have to pull it out anyway, if it can't be used,
You're gonna go that.
then,
The police chief had serious reservations about opening up Squire Road, take whatever measures we could, try to preserve, line that pipe, and maintain the integrity of its structural
integrity of the pipe, cap it.
So just make sure I understood correctly, if that's a clay pipe, we can, and it has the capacity, we could reline it without having to open up the street. That,
Yeah, well, that's a call the engineering.
You have
engineer.
to provide us a TV video of what that pipe looks like, so then it can be determined if it's suitable for lining, if it's suitable for reuse, and at that point, we're...
right, so you guys make the call based on visual
Yes.
inspection, okay.
So the video will have to be provided to the engineering firm.
Well, yeah, email you use for the engineers.
I know, and I resent it, I think I had REBER.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I resent it with the correct one.
On the first.
First one's wrong,
Yeah.
and I think the second one, I still missed
Yeah,
it.
no, you got it right. Send it.
So that's maybe why you can see it.
Have you gained any progress with your curb cut from approval from Mass?
As a matter of fact, we do have approval.
Okay.
So we have to give you a copy of it. So we also, though, as I understand it, have to apply to the city for the same curb cuts?
Correct.
Okay,
That would be good for that.
It's just a simple curb cut.
Yeah.
okay, great.
So where are you at with the construction drawings?
They are submitted.
100% submitted.
Okay, so what's the tie-up?
Well, we have to get through this.
That was a little bit missing, so late, and he provide now and expired, so we are ready for bid.
Site plan expired.
So you're ready to pull a permit?
Yes, we
So
submitted.
So contractor is LaQuinta providing their contractor or?
No, the owner is providing.
Or the owner, okay.
So you don't have a contractor on?
We have,
Yeah, they
we applied.
They have submitted an application.
Ship-based construction,
Oh, okay.
general contractor.
So site work, foundation, you don't have?
Yes, we are ready.
Okay.
We are ready, everything.
So everything is good on your end?
Yeah, we are
There you
ready.
go.
Yeah, so I just needed the updated site plan review letter, and then I'll distribute the.
Thank you.
So are you good with the documentation, the way you got the documentation, or do do I need to address e-permitting again?
Well, I'm not quite sure. Let me sit back through my emails and find those drawings, see if I can then download them to our server and then upload them to the application. If I cannot do that, I'll communicate with you.
If you'd like, I'll resend it to you.
The subject
This
is
afternoon.
electronic permit class, so you might have to find it. It was sent on March 25th.
Yeah, I mean, I can look for it. If I have a problem with it, I'll let you know.
Okay, great. And
Well, I'll let the applicant know, because the only communication I have, unless you're on the permit.
only as the architect.
Okay.
I could only update this letter if you uploaded on site plan review the plans on the system. The system will let me update the old
So to e-permitting?
e-permitting, yeah. That's another thing I can't.
What's that?
Well,
Being edited.
How many site plan that you would
I think I did, yeah. Dropbox, it was a Dropbox file.
Yeah.
Well, my problem is that the e-permitting won't let me, it asks for drawings broken up in very odd ways.
Well, yeah, the problem is a certain amount of, they only have certain capacities.
Right, so I can't, when I did upload this the first time,
Yeah.
the e-permitting, I could not get all the drawings.
I understand. But you sent the full set to me.
Yes,
and let's
I
see
did.
if we can break them up. If we
Okay.
cannot do it, I'll let you know.
All right, and if I have to break them up and send them to you in however you want them, then I can do that.
We'll communicate that.
Okay,
Let
great.
me try to see if we can deal with it on our end.
Okay.
Well, I have to have site plan review.
So,
So he's gonna provide, or he has to?
He's gonna have to, so you're gonna have to basically reapply the site plan.
okay, so site plan is separate from,
Yeah.
separate from building.
It is, correct.
Okay, so,
It's on the same e-permitting, you'll see it.
all right, now,
You need to go back and do that over again, so I can upload a new letter.
okay, so can I send you the site, all you need is the site drawings and or the whole thing?
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay, I think I can do that. I think it accepted that. Yeah, okay, great.
As soon as you do that, and I see it on my system, I can get you a letter.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Where's the water connections coming from? Why?
Well, they're not, they're on the side, they're under the sidewalk. So they're over here, and we're coming down with water and sprinkler down here. Yep, well, two separate.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but we're not interfering with Squire because they're back. Right, okay. And since we're rebuilding the sidewalk anyway, we'll have good access to it. Okay. Great, thank you, gentlemen.
This copy.
You're good with fire sign on?
Yeah, I do these quite a while ago. I'll go back through them now that I have the,
I hadn't seen it, so.
Yeah.
I saw that, WG was, I see my name on the email, but I'm not sure what happened, it never came through.
Okay.
So Nick, either way, you'll be on the route, you won't get the documentation unless we can then break it up ourselves, and then he will send that to the director.
yeah, I just told the
Yeah,
department.
if you.
All right, so I can send Mr. Nystrom a Dropbox links of the stuff that you and.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely,
great.
yeah.
And then whatever you need me to do afterwards, I'll
Yeah.
do
Just
it
make
again.
sure you don't put an expiration date on the Dropbox line.
Okay, don't think I did, but good to check.
Yeah.
That was smooth check on that. Oh, okay, very good.
An original copy, 2 copy in the office, we give it to them. The real one, the blueprint, I give, we give it to them.
Oh, okay, sure. All right, I will tell you that I inadvertently did not put the stamped site engineering drawings in there, but in the new set I issued, and I'll issue it to you all if you want, it does have the stamp. Okay, so,
We're gonna need those.
okay, all right, so give them to you as well? All right.
So then resend them to us.
I will resend it with those 7 sheets with a stamp.
Do me a favor, send the whole draw, send everything to me, okay?
Yes.
That's fine. Everything else. And I'll just disregard the prior email.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll get them out
Yeah,
tonight.
so we send the whole thing as
Yep.
a new Dropbox.
Yep.
All right, and I will change the date on the cover sheet so that you guys know that one is what we talked about today.
Please.
Okay?
All right,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, that concludes the site plan review committee meeting for April 9th.